Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mind Your Soul. And today's guest is Nick Daniels, who's the founder of Thinkernick. Welcome so much, Nick, to this episode. And we're going to talk about pursuing your dreams, basically talking about our mindset. So tell me, Nick, who are you? And I'm so psyched for you to be here today.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, Farah, and it's amazing to meet you. It's an honor to be on your podcast. I am just an ordinary guy from South Africa who is pursuing his dream of having his own business in the wellness, personal growth space. I grew up in South Africa. I have family in the UK, and I'm currently living abroad in Vietnam.
Amazing. So, what brought you to Vietnam, if I may ask?
That's a whole conversation for another time. But basically, I'm a
Okay.
part-time teacher as well. So I'm a mathematics teacher as well as then Thinkernick
Oh,
as the side hustle, as they like to call it, but will soon to be
oh.
the full-time hustle.
Oh, wow, amazing. So many surprises. But you got invited here today because no, but you got invited here today because this podcast is about improving mental health. And I thought I was following you on Instagram and I really like your page and I like the
Thank you.
podcast you're doing and all the people that you brought on the podcast about the mindset, how you can get anywhere you want to if you put in enough work. And like the whole mindset thing really fascinated me, and that's why I DM'd you. Like, I really like to have you on this podcast because I think our listeners will really benefit from it. So tell me, Nick, how developing a growth mindset empower individuals to overcome obstacles and stay committed to their dreams, even though when they're facing setbacks? Because that's kind of hard, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think before we look at a growth mindset, I think it's important to look at what a fixed mindset is first, which is
Mm-hmm.
obviously the opposite of a growth mindset. And that's basically the belief that your abilities or your intelligence or your talents or the qualities that you have are fixed and you cannot change them. And people with a fixed mindset, they tend to believe their attributes cannot be improved through any effort or learning. So the sort of characteristics would be like avoiding challenges. When they fail, they view that reflection as their self-worth, rather than
Mm-hmm.
actually view it as an opportunity to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Avoiding putting in effort, feeling threatened by someone else's success, and believing stuff like talent is not enough and giving up really easily. So
Mm.
that's
That makes
what if
sense.
yeah, so that's what a fixed mindset is. But if we sort of go back to what you were saying, sorry, to your question about a growth mindset, it's the complete opposite. So a
Mm.
growth mindset empowers individuals to basically overcome those obstacles, stay committed to their dreams, and even face setbacks in life, because we all have setbacks, whether it's on a daily basis, weekly basis. I mean, everyone's got stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
um, and some of the sort of things when it comes to how a growth mindset can empower an individual is to, like you said, to overcome obstacles, challenges, and pursue their dreams. You know, the I thought about this question, and there was a few things that really came to me. And the first one is basically embracing those challenges. So, someone with a growth mindset usually views challenges as opportunities to learn and grow
Mm-hmm.
instead of avoiding them, like I spoke about in the fixed mindset before.
Mm-hmm.
They
Very
seem,
true.
yeah, they see them as chances to improve and develop new skills. Um, Another thing is resilience. So when people have setbacks, this is a big one, and this has been a big one for me personally, is developing this resilience in life. Setbacks and failures they're a natural part of anyone's journey in life. And people with a growth mindset, they don't see failure as a reflection of their worth or their abilities. Instead, they treat the setbacks as learning experiences. So often people are demotivated by their um, failures, or even if they make a little mistake here and there, they often don't. I'm not saying this is everyone, I'm just generalizing. They often
Mm.
don't want to continue pursuing that passion or that dream. But that's why resilience is so important when it comes, and this is how it can empower someone, who
Absolutely.
has a growth mindset. Things like continuous improvement, always wanting to become a better version of yourself. And I think this is something
Mm-hmm.
that I've definitely seen in the last few months. It never ends. So having a growth mindset, the beauty about it, it's like a double-edged sword. It's the beauty about it is you're constantly learning and growing, and it's an amazing feeling to, basically trying to find that 2.0 version of yourself. But at the same time, you're never going to be the perfect individual.
I don't
Another
believe in
thing,
perfect either. Like, if
yeah,
I could just comment on that. Like, there's nothing that is perfect. Like, we all growing and learning all the way. Like, it's a lifelong process of learning new skills and things. And yeah.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, so then carrying on to the next point would be the willingness to seek help and feedback. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
see seeking help as a weakness,
Mm-hmm.
as, oh no,
Absolutely.
I'm asking for help, so I'm a weak person, and that puts them in, obviously, I would say, a fixed mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously that goes to limiting beliefs, which is another sort of factor or characteristic of a fixed mindset, but I'm sure we can get into that later in the podcast. But it is, as someone with a growth mindset knows that it's okay to ask for help, and also knows that, you know in order to better yourself, you need to be surrounded and or seek out help from people who are doing better than you. There's a
Mm-hmm.
saying that goes, you will never be criticized by someone doing more than you. And that really stuck with me because, especially with the Thinkernick stuff and the stuff that I'm doing, I haven't unfortunately had many or criticisms, but the few that I've had are generally, it's just like, I always keep that in the back of my mind, like, maybe it's because I'm doing more than them. So that's a sort of perspective with growth mindset as well. And then a very important one is adapting to change. Having a growth
Mm-hmm.
mindset, you have to be able to adjust and adapt to change. A growth mindset promotes, adaptability and flexibility. When you're faced with unexpected challenges or changes, individuals with this sort of mindset, they're more likely to adjust their strategies and their approaches rather than just give up.
Mm-hmm.
And one that I struggle with from time to time is maintaining a long-term perspective. It's so easy to get caught up in the short-term fun,
Yeah.
and instant gratification and stuff like that.
Yes.
People with a growth mindset definitely see the bigger picture, the long term, which is something that, again, like I said, you're never the finished product. Something I'm working on, and I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this podcast that are probably doing the same. So that's just my thoughts or the factors that I've taken into account when it comes to how a growth mindset can empower an individual, when it comes to challenges and setbacks.
That's like, wow, that was a really beautiful answer. And that is exactly what happens. I'm kind of in the same situation right now. Like, I'm in uncertain grounds, but this is not my first time being in uncertain grounds. Like, things in life happen to us, and it's about how you embrace the situation that you're in. I talk about this a lot on my page. Like, when we have these opportunities or challenges, like, see them as this was meant for you, and it's how you look at the situation. So this is the mindset of growth, I think, because you see this, you can see it as an opportunity or you can see it as a setback if you have a fixed mindset. So it's like, how are you going to catch the ball when it's thrown at you? So it's really about that, shifting your thought patterns. I talk a lot about neuroplasticity, which is
Mm,
very relevant to this fixed and growth mindset. How you can cognitively reframe your thought patterns, thinking you have ruminating thoughts and negative thoughts, how you can change them into positive thoughts. So everything is possible. It's really like how you view life. But of course, sometimes you do need help in order to get there.
yeah,
Obviously, yeah, because this does not happen overnight. Like, it's a process.
yeah, for
Um,
sure. Can I ask
yeah,
a question?
of course.
How do you, obviously, with the neuroscience background that you have, how do you rewire or rewire your thought patterns? How would you do that
Well,
from a
I do.
neuroscience perspective?
Yeah, well, you can do some exercises. You can do like journaling, like write down your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
What I've done is a really easy practice, actually. You take a piece of paper and you just like write down some, yeah, three things that are bothering you. And then you make a list like this. Okay, I can just do it right, right now.
Cool.
So you just make like this, and then you just write down the three things that are bothering you. Like, so kind of like the pros and cons thing. Then you look at it and you take the paper out, you fold it, and you put it away. And you just say to yourself, now I've done this exercise. I'm not going to think about it right now. And when the thoughts pop up again, you can actually take it again and look at it. And this actually helps, but it's like a practice. It takes some days in order for your brain to like, okay, this is not threatening. Like, I can cope with this. There's some pros here as well. It's not only the negative things, but it's an exercise and you have to practice it, like keep doing it consistently. Otherwise, you wouldn't see change. That was just like one of them.
Okay, that's
You
very
can do
interesting.
mindfulness. Yeah, I've done it. It helped
Okay,
me.
awesome.
I had insomnia during lockdown because we all faced the challenges of lockdown, which was very hard for us. And I was there with a newborn baby and two school teenagers that needed like homework help, and I was like overwhelmed with duties. So I got insomnia. It's like, how can I get out of this situation? So I actually had like a coach who helped me with my sleeping patterns, and this was the first exercise he actually mentioned because I was awake due to the ruminating thoughts. I was like in a black spiral. This actually helped me a lot to overcome my sleep. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to use that. That's an awesome. That's awesome. That
Yeah. So it's like
technique.
a habit thing as well, right? Everything takes time. Good things take time. So do not expect miracles to happen like over doing it like one or two or three times. You have to invest the work and you have to like do it consistently. So 21 to 60 days, like it takes for a habit to like kick in. So it will take time, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. It was kind of a good, relevant question, I think. Now we're talking about fixed and growth mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me, Nick, you have this whole program going on also, like you help people with the whole mindset thing. So what role does self-belief play and positive affirmations play in one's mindset to manifest the life that you really want to create? How big of a power does that have in your mindset?
So that's an interesting question because I'm a big believer in visualizations. However, personally, I don't use many positive affirmations. I do in my meditation sometimes in the morning, but I think with positive affirmations, they need to be done regularly.
Yes.
And that's something that I'm working on. But to answer the question, there's a few things. Like, first of all, the reason why positive affirmations are so important when it comes to self-belief is because you need to shape the mind. And self-belief is the foundation of a growth mindset. So when people have confidence in their abilities and believe in their potential for growth and improvement, that's when they're more likely to take on challenges, and then again, persist. The resilience comes back in, persist in the face of setbacks, and take steps towards their goals. The one that I mentioned earlier that I said would probably touch on is overcoming limiting beliefs. Positive affirmations are huge with this. They're a really powerful tool because they really challenge those limiting beliefs. I'm sure everybody has a limiting belief about something. And I know that using positive affirmations for this has definitely helped me. And I do encourage your listeners to do the same. Limiting beliefs are like, for those who don't understand, they're basically like self-imposed, imagine like barriers. They're self-imposed barriers or negative thoughts that basically hold you back. And, by, regularly repeating the positive affirmations, it rewires the brain. This is as far as I know, and I'm sure maybe you can touch on this.
It's very true. It's very true.
Okay. Do you want to just touch on that further?
Yeah, of course. No, but it's very true because, so what you tell your brain is actually what it believes. So like Nick
Mm.
was saying, you have to do it consistently. Just like with this, the paper I just folded together, like everything has to be practiced in order for our minds to believe it. So how you speak to yourself compassionately, how you view yourself, and how you visualize yourself, that is what you're going to manifest in your life. That is what
Mm.
your brain is going to believe. So the whole cognitive reframing of thought, this is what it is. So I do positive self affirmations every morning after my morning prayer, and then I meditate. I have a whole ritual going on.
Yeah. No,
So
it's good. That's good. It's good. It's
but
really
it
good.
keeps me sane, and I start my day really calm. Although I have like sometimes I have like three kids screaming at me, but it's like no, because I wake up before them and I've already done all of this. Then I'm like calm, I can handle it. But if I get out of my routine, I'm like, whoa, I have difficulty handling like all the screaming, or all the morning issues, because I'm not zoomed in myself, I'm not like in zen mode. So this
Yeah.
really helps me actually to overcome all the things life throws at me, actually, because of my routine.
Yeah,
So
for
routines are
sure.
very important.
Yeah, routine is very important. And I also think like what you put out in the world is what you get back. I'm a big believer of that. What you put out is what
Obviously,
you get back.
yes,
So I think positive affirmations is also big when it comes to attracting opportunities.
yes,
Um, you know, because they emit like a confident and optimistic energy. These can attract opportunities that you wouldn't normally think that you would get in life. I remember. So the way that I look at life is it's almost like an oscillation chart. So it goes up, but then it's going to go down again, and it's going to go up, and
obviously,
these are
yes.
the waves of life. And I find when I'm doing my positive affirmations, when I'm meditating, when I'm more focused on looking after myself, my self-care, that in fact the oscillation chart actually stays up for a lot
Or it
longer
stays
than
a bit
or stay,
stable.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah. I also find that. So again, it goes back to saying like what you put out is what you get back. When you use these positive affirmations every day and you stay consistent with them, you attract opportunities that you never would have thought that you um would get. And sometimes things come into your life and you're like, wow, this is really cool, this is really, I wasn't expecting that to happen. And then obviously the last one is just boosting confidence. Having self-belief and using positive affirmations, like it instills confidence in your ability and your actions and your decisions. And confidence is a massive factor if you want to take calculated risks, if you want to step outside of your comfort zone, embracing new opportunities, and ultimately if you want to improve yourself and your personal growth. I think confidence is a big thing. So that's my
absolutely.
take on self-belief and positive affirmations.
Yeah, it's very good. Also, just activates the reward system in the brain, which is related to dopamine, serotonin, like all the happy feelings. We often get like when we do something like. Actually, you also get it from eating chocolate. For example, if you like chocolate,
Yeah.
you get it. You get it from many things. I get it from running as well, exercise. So speaking to
Mm,
yourself like this, like positively with compassion, actually does. Activate the neural system in the brain towards positive, and release those happy neurons. So that's kind of important to just state that it has more power than you think. It's just not speaking to yourself politely, but it's something it's actually activated in the brain.
yeah.
So this is what science says. So it all correlated, and
Yeah.
you need to practice it not one day or like 2 times a week, like every single day, in order to see the effect of it long term. So everything
Okay.
takes
So
time. Yeah,
so can I ask another question?
of
The
course.
the brain doesn't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, they can't tell the difference between, I don't know how to phrase this, but basically whatever you tell your brain, it will believe, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So with the
Yeah,
positive
that's true.
affirmations, it's like if you're having negative thoughts in your mind and then you just replace those thoughts with positive thoughts, the brain doesn't know the difference. The brain will only, it'll take on those positive thoughts. And that's why positive affirmations are so powerful. Am I correct? I got kind of on
Yes,
the right
yes,
page
and
there?
no, you are so correct. So if you do this long enough, those negative thoughts will like diminish. Like it will be like in
Mm,
the back, and then it will just go all away. It's like pushing them away, but it's a process. Because if you've been speaking negatively to yourself for so long, let's say most of your adulthood or whatever, then it will obviously take longer, but it doesn't take that longer even, because you're shifting the whole thought. The brain will get confused, like what's happening, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But it will take some time. But I tell you, it'll be worth it because you'll feel lighter and happier. You'll be like, what's going on? I haven't like done anything extraordinary, but you kind of have, even though you
yeah.
haven't realized it.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, like how the brain works, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you would know better because of the neuroscientist than me, but I just use the practices that I've learned that have helped me,
But
my
that's
mindfulness
that's
stuff.
so valuable, yeah,
Mm.
because we all have like there's so many mindfulness practices out there. What do you do, Nick, as mindfulness practice?
Sure. So, what do I do as my mindfulness practices? It's I actually have a morning routine which I got from I'm not sure if you sure, sorry, I'm not sure if
I'm a
you're
big
familiar with
fan of Jay Shetty.
Jay
Like
Shetty.
I'm his biggest fan.
I
Yes.
absolutely love Jay Shetty, and
Mm.
I use his morning routine, which is TIME. He calls it time, and what that stands for, the T stands for thankfulness, so showing
Mhm.
gratitude. The I stands for, I say insights, but it could be something else. Insights, basically learning something new, whether it's reading a book, listening to a podcast,
Oh
basically just
wow.
taking on new knowledge. The M stands for meditation, and the E
Mhm.
stands for exercise. And if you start your day with time, or you spend that first hour of the day, that time doing those four things, you will find that your life will change in ways you cannot even imagine. So that's what
So
I
you do
use.
all of that, Nick. So you exercise, you meditate. Wow, that is like lots of things, and you have like you read or whatever.
Yeah, well, the thing, I mean, you can double down because, like, for example, if I run or I cycle, I can listen to a podcast at the same time. So I
That's
can save
true.
time there. Meditation, if I can't fit it in the morning, I'll do it before I go to bed. It also helps with sleeping. And then being
Yes.
thankful. I'm sure we'll touch on journaling and stuff a bit later on, but uh, gratitude is a big one as well. Like I said, what you
Yes,
put out,
it is.
what you get back, and gratitude's a big thing for that.
Wow, that's an amazing morning ritual. Amazing. I mean, I would
Well,
need many hours to do that. I can't do that.
you can thank Jay Shetty for that one. It's credit to him. So
Yeah, I think it's doable when you don't have kids. Like, I'm not
yeah,
saying it's not doable when you have kids, but like we're a bit like when you have kids, you're a bit more pressured. Like you don't have that much time, even though I wake up before the kids. Yeah,
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
yeah, but that's an awesome routine though. That's an awesome routine. I
Yeah.
think everything is possible. Like if you really want to do something, you can do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, try to, yeah, and if I can't, I don't have children myself, so I can't really comment on this, but try do what I do in the sense that, maybe one morning do exercise with a podcast, and then another morning do your meditation with the gratitude. Try to do half. I'm not sure, but do what works for you, and
No,
for
but
the
that's
listeners
that's
as
a
well.
very good idea. Mm.
Yeah, for the listeners as well.
No, I talk on my page a lot about I don't do lunch breaks. I do running breaks. So if
Ah,
I'm not running, I'm doing strength training. So every when I'm working for some hours, so my lunch break is actually I'm running outside.
okay.
And this I encourage people to do a lot. Like even though you're stuck in an office, go for a walk or go for whatever to like because then it just rewires your brain and
Yeah,
you get this boost of dopamine as well, and you get more creative. Like you work better if you put in some exercise after some hours of grinding. This is what I do on a daily basis. So my exercise is like mid of the day, but I do start my mornings with prayer and meditation and the positive self affirmations.
nice,
And I also end my day in the same way as I start my
nice,
day.
awesome.
Uh,
I love
yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So like people can do whatever they want to do. And it's not like you have to use like 30 minutes. You can do like 5-10 minutes and increase when you feel like it. Like because I know people are busy. We have busy lives. So but now you have some things that you can try out with. And once you do it, you'll get hooked. Let me tell you this.
For sure, yeah, and
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. You feel so good inside. You feel so great about yourself. So I encourage all your listeners to definitely take on, some of what we've spoken about today, if not all of it.
Absolutely. So, Nick, can you share some stories, examples of people who have transformed their lives through just shifting their mindset, or some lessons from your own life or experiences? Something you can share, like how powerful the mindset actually is, more than we think?
Sure. So there's someone who comes to mind who I really admire, and he's super famous, and he's, I think, probably the #1 mindset coach in the world, and his name's Jim Quick. If you haven't read the book Limitless, I really, really recommend that you do read it. I'm actually reading it again at the moment.
It's on my wishing list. I have so many books that I want, but
Really?
it's on my wishing list, Limitless.
Oh, it is
Yes.
amazing. It is amazing. So, basically, Jim Quick, I'm not going to tell, not going to tell his whole story for him, but basically, when he was really young, I think he fell, he hit his head, and he was impaired mentally for a lot of his younger childhood. And basically, he's developed different ways, strategies to learn, to remember, retain information. And it's all in his book, and it's what he does. And I actually, on my Instagram page, I broke down his model. It's called the Limitless model. And I broke down the 3 different steps.
Okay.
It's motivation, methods, and mindset. And basically what it is, it's like, so this is how you improve any area in your life. So if there's something that you're struggling with, or there's an area you want to improve, you look at these 3 sections. So the first one would be the mindset. That is, what are your beliefs? What are you telling yourself about this particular problem or this area? The second are the motivation. What is the motivation to change the problem? And then the third is the methods. What methods are you currently using that are not working? And what methods could you use to sort of improve? That's a very brief summary. But
wow, that really makes sense. I was taking notes.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you could check it out over on either LinkedIn or the Instagram page. I'll actually share it if you like. You can leave it in the notes below if anyone wants to look at it. But basically, he's an inspiration because of where he's come from, and now of who he is, and just the models. And that's just a testament to, how powerful the mind can be, being a child who is bullied,
amazing.
Can't learn, can't remember, being told by his teachers he's never going to make it, to now becoming pretty much the most world-renowned mindset expert in the world. And then something more personal and like closer to my heart is one of my very good friends, if not my best friend, is just a sort of guy who's a real good stand-up guy. And he has, when I first got to Vietnam, where I was here, I'll give you an example. We love to do exercise, me and all my friends. And he was sort of the first person to go and do a half marathon, and then go and do a full marathon.
Oh, wow.
And then sort of go and do a half Ironman. And it was almost like watching someone else achieve something, especially someone close to you, who, when we started working out together, we were all doing the same stuff. And then he sort of broke the barrier. He broke the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He kept going.
So, and he kept going. So then for me, I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And then my other mates also did a half Ironman. And I was like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Wow.
So the reason why I bring this story up, and it's close to my heart, is because like, you become the sum of the 5 people that you associate with. So if you surround yourself with people who are going to push you, who are going to encourage you, who are going to help you thrive, that is ultimately going to cultivate a mindset, a growth mindset that is going to push you forward in life. So those are the 2 stories that I have to share.
I love that story. That is amazing. I actually tried. So you said half marathon, because I'm a runner myself. And the weather in Denmark is like, okay, it's like, it's insane. So I actually tried to do, like, I was practicing for the half marathon, but I was just too slow. Like, because when the weather gets too crazy and I have short legs, I'm not that tall. So I was not running fast enough. No, I was just trying to practice, like pushing myself to run further and further. But then I fell and I got an injury, and then I was like, okay, starting from scratch, because but that's life, right?
Yeah, that's
that
a setback.
Is life, and
that's the setback.
That's a setback. So you just get up again and you try again. So I'm doing it again now, trying to push myself again.
Nice. Cool.
After the injury and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying. So I'll probably get there one day. Not now.
I think just keep going. Keep going. I think when it comes to like, again, like I said, your time is very valuable. You have children, but if you're using your runs to your breaks to run, add an extra K every week. 21 weeks, that's half a
That's
year.
the
You'll
thing.
already be
Yeah.
doing a half marathon. Baby steps.
Exactly. And I really want to do it. This is like a personal goal. Like I just want to push myself. It's like I just want to do this for me. So yeah, absolutely. And I like pushing myself. I feel proud of myself when my Apple Watch is like, oh, you just run your own records. Like, yeah. So
The dopamine hit, eh? It's the
it's
dopamine hit.
the
Yeah.
dopamine hit, right? Yeah. And I
Yeah.
get that from all the running. It's like, but when I do that and it says now you outrun yourself, like you just broke your own record, I'm like, I'm so amazed. It's like no one watching me or clapping at me, but I feel amazing.
Yeah.
So
Awesome, man. I love to hear
yeah.
that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So thanks, Nick. I think we covered like lots of the questions. Like I really love the story you just shared with us. And you definitely have like this profound knowledge of mindset, and you're doing such a great job. I really like your page on Instagram. So
Thank you
people, you
very
can go and
much.
follow him. I throw in the links so you can go and follow Nick on Instagram. So any last comments, Nick, you would like to say to our listeners out there?
Yeah. So one thing that we didn't touch on, which we did speak about gratitude quite a bit. I wanted to touch on journaling. And for
Yeah.
any of your listeners who are looking to improve in their life and want to get better, or are just looking to understand themselves better, I can't even tell you how powerful a tool journaling is. And I'll leave you guys with a couple questions that I use, which I find very, very helpful. And if you follow this or these questions for 2 weeks to 4 weeks, you will slowly start to identify areas in your life that are massive. I call them red flags that you can instantly see. Look, okay, here's an area I need to work on. Here's an area I need to work on. So if you do start journaling after this, uh, write down these questions. And the first one is, um, what excited me today? I suggest doing it before you go to bed to clear your mind and
Mm-hmm.
help you sleep. First
Yes.
question
Very good
is,
idea.
what excited me today? So you write down, okay, I had an amazing day. For example, me, I'm a part-time teacher. My kids were amazing. They were well behaved. It was great. Then you say, what drained me of energy? So what drained me of energy today? And after 2 weeks, you'll slowly, when you go back and you look at all the things that drained you of energy, you will see blatant things in your life that are causing you, they are causing you problems and that are draining your energy every single day. The third one is 10 things you're grateful for. Show gratitude every single day, even if it's small things. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the
Mhm.
sunshine. I'm grateful for being able to get to work in on my scooter. And I'm grateful that we have this technology so we can do this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The next one is, what did I learn? So what did I learn today? And it can be anything. Like, it can be a small lesson about yourself. It can be something like, for example, you have children. Maybe one of your children does something new today. It could be absolutely anything. But what did I learn? I use this as a tool to basically reflect, and then I have another book where I add up all my knowledge, but that's separate. And then another question right at the end, you say, how did I move the needle forward? And what that basically means is, what did I do today to make myself 1% better? So if you write down
That
those
is
five
amazing.
questions every single day for a month, I really encourage your readers to do that. And
I'm,
that's
I-
what I'm
I'm
going to
gonna
leave them
do
with.
that. I have so many books. I write notes. I'm gonna do that.
Awesome,
I'm gonna
awesome,
try
awesome.
that. I actually did journaling, but I didn't do it with those questions. I just wrote down my thoughts, before sleeping, because that helped me when I had those insomnia periods. That helped me like to release my thoughts.
Yeah,
So I did not do it like intentionally with those questions you just said. I really
cool,
like them. Yeah,
awesome.
I'll try
Thank you
that
very
and
much.
see how it
Cool.
transforms.
Yeah, even 2 weeks to a month, and I'm sure you'll see some results.
I'm not even in doubt because I do talk about gratitude a lot on my page as well. Like what are you grateful for? And I ask my followers for that. And like for me, it's like just being alive. Like I have life. Like we are breathing right now. We are another day is like an opportunity to make a change. So I'm grateful for like every day because you never know. Tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah, for sure.
So everything is gets in retrospective. Like someone who is sick is like grateful for maybe still breathing another day. I'm not sick, thank God. But I'm just saying that I've seen so many people die around me, so I'm just very grateful for life in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
that saying, like, your health is, the ultimate thing for someone who's sick. Your house is the ultimate thing for someone who's homeless. Your car is the ultimate thing for someone who, is walking to work every day.
doesn't
Stuff like
have
that.
exactly doesn't have a car. So yeah,
Yeah,
everything gets into retrospective of where you are in life. So do not
exactly.
take things for granted. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a big
absolutely.
lesson, big takeaway.
It is, yeah. But thank you so much for those questions, Nick, for sharing your knowledge. I think it was really valuable. I learned so much myself. So,
Well, thank you very much for having me, Farah. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, like I said, an absolute honor to be on your podcast. I'm following your journey as
thank you.
well. And I'm really enjoying your journey. And yeah, I hope your listeners have taken value from this podcast. And hopefully this won't be the last time we connect.
No, I would love to do like another episode on something else because we are very much aligned with our businesses. I just do it from a neuroscience perspective, but kind of the goal is like to empower mindset, to just empower like the mental health section. So we are in the same field. So I think we can learn from each other, definitely. I'm not even in doubt about that. So yeah.
Fantastic.
With that
Cool.
said, please subscribe. You can see all of this in YouTube, and it's going to be released on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I'm going to throw in the link so you can follow both of us. Thank you so much. Bye, you
Okay.
guys.
Cheers, Farah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.